Hello and hi, welcome to Chilling, the best of the good life. More than ever, my name is Drago. Our guest for tonight is the Afro fashion magician himself. He goes by the names of LATIF. LATIF is one of the most hardworking fashion designers we have in this country. In fact, he actually broke the record of one of the fastest designers. He's as quick as this. His work has been manifested everywhere. You've heard about him, you've read about him, you've seen him everywhere. Recently, he went to USA to showcase one of his work to the people out there who were actually overwhelmed by his work. His work is a true connection to the realms of real fashion design. He's broken records, he's won awards. So without further ado, please allow me to introduce to you the incredible fashion designer himself, LATIF Madoy. He's right here with me, and don't go anywhere. Please stay tuned.
Hello everyone. Let me start by saying Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is LATIF Madoy, the Afro fashion magician, a fashion designer. Call me the jet speed designer wa mwatungira mwenyonyi. And I come from a very humble family. I'm a very humble family, but a Muslim family, as you know. And my childhood upbringing was a very humble upbringing as well. And I was a very obedient child. And that actually earned me, that way. Because being very obedient, I was very easy, to okutuma. As you know, when you're home and you have very many siblings, but there's that one sibling who is always obedient, very easy, go solo kolagana, go solo kutuma kudoka. I was that kind of a child. So by that, they used to send me to a tailor to take my mzei's pants and shirts, for kudabiriza, what you can call sometimes alterations. So that way, how? Because I could go and learn through observation by just looking at this old muzei called this Muzei Musenyere, actually rest in peace, Muzei Yamfako. Naye is the person that I first saw, sewing on a sewing machine. Nefuna chance or kumulabirako, like when he was doing sewing. So through observation, that's how I learned fashion designing or sewing. I grew up, studying from Kawempe Muslim Primary School, Nenzijanga and Soma. Later on, I joined Masaba Senior Secondary School, which is in Imbali. Joining Nabomali High School. So in Nabomali High School, this is where the magic starts from. Tuli Nabomali, Ngabomani, it's a mixed school. Sometimes on weekends you have to show up, you're really smart. On occasions like farewell parties, welcome parties, you have to show up like a creative designer or a creative chap in the school. So this is how I basically discovered myself that fashion was my thing. I started, creating designs for my fellow students as they left to go to the university. I didn't join university immediately because that time I'd just lost my dad. But again, it contributed to my career because my fellow students who had already joined the university could contact me for styles, about designing, designing wakabi. So that way I had the contacts, Nensigalanga amba contacting her. Eventually, my friend called Mubiru, who had already joined Islamic University in Imbali, Nankubira Kasimu Nangamba, you know what, we have these tournaments between a house competition. Like house colors, green, yellow, red, blue, whatever. So on my way to Mbali, this is when seated in a taxi in Mpulira advert, Tina International School, advertising courses in fashion designing, and I'm like, this has always been my thing. So without hesitation, I went to Mbali Islamic University in Mbali, collected some money. I went straight to Kabalagala, Chibuli, where Tina International School was located. To go there, Singana Tina, Miss Ruth Kivirige, or Tina International School, she had already watched me on UBC, you can imagine. And you can imagine at this time I'm talking on UBC. So she was like, oh, I've seen you before on TV designing some artists and also making some few craft things that we don't actually teach here. And she's like, can you teach that maybe in a way that could compensate your tuition? And I'm like, well, that's everybody will saving. So I started at Tina International School as a student teacher. That way, then developing confidence, then developing experience. Eventually in 2003, when Funo Mukisoko designing like Dobe, it's the same time when I graduating, Amaudi Gatunda Nyo, because it was published in the papers as designer Wala Kedube was among the graduates. So nefuno Mukisogo nembanga awakajinange wenakasambira. Fashion, to me, fashion is a game, and I basically made fashion the simplest thing to do, you know, to deal with, and that way okuchifule chintu ekyangu nnyo, it has given me a chance to do it anywhere at any given time.
Yo, Rasta,
I can
Go where you got the. Go where you got the. Soko je. Akazungu kiria. You know, the most funniest thing is that I actually never knew the kind of schools you went to.
Oh yeah, I went to very local schools, but Naumali is not such a local school.
Yeah.
But otherwise, nice meeting you.
Good to meet you too. Come on, is this one of the LATIF designs?
This is the original LATIF design made in American airline on board.
Whoa.
In the air.
Whoa.
Oh yeah?
I'm seeing some Jamaican flags here. Yeah. I'm seeing the US flag there.
Actually, this is my logo. Yeah, because I'm called Salif.
Yes.
And I'm represented by one of the plants.
Yes.
With a leaf.
One of the plants. From what I saw, the lot was Zeweka. Whom did you come with?
I actually came with my music teacher.
Ajeturabe, he's your music teacher.
Yeah, I came with.
So now you're also venturing into music.
You know, learning never stops.
Yes.
I've been doing fashion for a very long time, and music has always been inspiring me.
Yeah.
About design.
I don't want no makati. Dread original. Got music teacher ono lera zetua mukati.
Because at LATIF Academy, you know, our motto is share the talent. So I share with him fashion skills. Era soma fashion. Ngera na yebo anjigirizamu ku bits of music skills.
Asobola tuwa muka sample.
Kambanjulire omusajja designer Latifu eyakuguka mukutunga, you know I know.
He's singing my profile.
Of course, yeah. I can hear this. Nice melody.
Latifu no kalatunga eraze wano atulage kwebyo byalinawo, mujjukire mu mwaka 2003 Lucky Dube bwe yajja wano. Latifu ono ye yatunga ekyambalo ekirungi Lucky Dube omugenzi bwe yayimbira. Bwe yaveeyo yagenda mu ggwanga ery'Ennaija ye yawangula awaadi mu kutunga. Bwe yaveeyo yafuna sikaala agende Bufalansa ye yakugukira mu fasoni ne dizayini. Bwe yaveeyo yatandika LATIF Academy ng'esomesa fashioni ne dizayini. Teyakoma kwebyo nayiya Rasmansi nga lwe lunaku olw'abalasita mu nsi yonna. twali tuli awo n'atunga oh. Latifu tunga twali tuli awo bwe yagenda eyo mu Amerika gye yatungira mu bbanga ngali mu nnyonyi kati azze wano atulage ku bipya by'alinawo.
Wow. Wow. Mzee Webale. I have a feeling you should have made your profile back then.
Oh, yes.
Because that's entire profile. Well, Mzee, Toyanzizanyo Ochikuba. Yeah. So, what is his name?
He's called Jaja Master Kaya. Jaja Master Kaya for the respect that we gave him. Because Jaja Chechitiwa Chowa Omonto Omukuru, you know. So Jaja Master Kaya there for you.
Okay, so we are going to go in for a very short commercial break. I'm telling you, this show is beginning in style. Yeah. Tell them that we're coming back very soon. Don't tell them not to go anywhere.
Oh yeah, ngera bugambye sababa bonna bajiriko mujekumireko temujivaako, we coming back.
Hello and welcome back to Chilling. This is the best of the good life. Now tell a friend, tell a brother, tell each and every person that the program had already started. Now if you're just joining us today, we had a pleasure of sitting down with one of the baddest, the fastest fashion designer and accolade winner. He's Rastafarian. I mean, what could even be better than this? The man himself, Latif Madoe. Latif Madoe, I hosted him before. And that was 2018. I must assume, what has changed since then?
A lot has changed because by then we had just moved to Kawanda. You know, before we were in Kawempe, and I was born in Kawempe, and that's where I grew up. Yes. I didn't want to leave Kawempe for some reasons. As you can see, many talents in Uganda have been bred from Kawempe.
The likes of Chameleon.
Yeah, very many. If we start counting, even Kamocha is still in Kawempe division, Kawempe North. Yes. So there are just countless talents in Kawempe division. And for me, Kawempe division is the Oxford seat of Uganda. We wali amasomero gonna University, Makerere University still in Kawempe. So Kawempe, I didn't want to leave it like any other artist. I wanted to leave something in Kawempe, and that's where I started Latif Academy, Talent School. But because we had to, you know, expand, Takaliali Tani Sokfunde, Kawempe, Neomujuzo, we opted to, you know, find a more larger space, Kubanga fashion wetaga space. There's a lot, if you're putting up a fashion school, it's a big facility, you know, a better cabin to be engineer. So Kawempe, Yalite Chat, call it Abulonji. Yeah, that's why we moved to Kawanda. So the time you hosted me, we had just moved to Kawanda. And that time, we were very young. But right now,
yes. So, Latif, of course, this must go without saying. You went to USA.
Oh, yeah.
And you reigned over. Come on, tell me about that experience. Specifically, we have to address that. Yes. Tell me about USA and how they received you.
I went to the US. I've been going to the US actually since 2016. But this time around, but I always go to the US for a cause. Ninachi Ntambuza Bachita UGFX. UGFX is Uganda Fashion Expo. I try to expose fashion. Being the fashion president of Uganda, Chinkakatako, you know, to go network, nokufunira stakeholders in this industry, okugezanga students, okubanonyeza internships, okugezanga abatunda materials where they can, you know, buy the best fabrics, machinery, because, you know, fashion is all about technology now. Zinozo now badges, machines, umpiakati zezikola. So that way, ukubanga omuntu wabanga ali wano, people need that kind of international exposure. Yes. So this time around, Nabadendi networking, but it was a Latif Madoe USA Fashion Tour 2021.
What did the people say? How do they react to this new fashion brand?
First of all, jukira tubaddemu COVID
Yes.
For almost 2 years.
Yes.
And going to the US, n'abantu okulaba ku muntu ava ewaka, it was very exciting.
Yeah.
I had a lineup of activities, lined up for me. Okugeza naina fashion concerts, naina fashion tutorials, because the school runs a reach out program.
Yes.
Eyokusomesa, reaching out to different communities, societies, state to state, nation to nation. So activities ibadde nyingi nnyo. Naye ekyasinze okunyumamu, because I always do amazing things. To me, considering a fashion something that you can do anywhere, and it's a good thing. So nali natungako dda mu nnyonyi, naye nga bonobeera an upcoming artist babadde tebakirecognizing anga. Naye this time around ndoza nakubye heat. I was actually aboard American airline, nentunga okuva Miami nga ngenda California. Naye the most yasinze okuhiting ennyo when I was coming from California to Dallas. So natungira, this is the very particular outfit that I was teaching on plane. Yeah, mid-air. Wow. So you can go to Google and Google a man sewing on plane mid-air. Ojja kulaba emikutu jonna. And I'm glad it's UBCA so ku publishing amawulire agafaanana bwe gati. So ne banna Uganda bakole ki bakirabeko.
You'll be some magic. So the fashion president himself, tell me, when we first met, I actually didn't take this emphasis of asking you, why did you choose fashion as a career? Kubanga, once again, umanyinzo omuntu akustalking up Facebook and Instagram. So I saw some of your pictures. The way back then, you were a fashion killer. I even commented, you remember? Waina designs nga nziraba ojiriranga zijja mpola, but you could see that fashional element in you. So how did that come in play?
Fashion has always been my thing since my childhood. Jajja wange omukazi, rest in peace, Jajja Nora azala mama wange, yali mutunzi. Naye the most amazing part nti samulabako nga atungisa ekyalaani. Nalinga mulaba always nga atungisa with the hand needle. So namukoppako ebintu bingi nnyo. So kati wenzija nkula atukolera empale, mama afisa materials on her gomeses, the pieces our grandmom atukolera mu shorts zino ezakaguwa zebayitanga urutu. So nenzija nga picking mpola nange ntandika craftinga, doing, I started as a craftsman. Nga nkola bintu bwangalo, mpeta bukiiki kyobo butonotono. So nekijjanga kikula. Nze ngamba gwali mukisa. And it was also a blessing in disguise. Nti olw'obutaba nnyo baana maka gali so wealthy. Nti when you're living in a very rich family, you cannot wear a shirt without a button. Baja kugamba, Simon, why are you putting on a shirt without a button? Remove that shirt. Go check in the suitcase. There are new t-shirts or shirts and change. Empale tesobola kubanga njulifu. Come on, why are you wearing empale ezirimu ebiraka? Kati ato ogwo gwali mukisa gyendi. Until when I could lose a button on my shirt, natunulire epesa nga lindabikiranga akabaawa obuti, so I could cut obubaawo nenkubamu obutuli to create buttons. I could fold obukebekebe obu plastic obukebe bwa plastic nembusalamu amapesa nengasalamu actually shapes zenjagala. So to me that was very creative, because every time I could look at all the buttons were regular, round. So to me okola amapesa gange, it could chansobozesa okola n'amapesa aga shapes zonna, hexagon, hectagon, square, rectangle. So bwentyo nenzija nga akidevelopinga good enough nekisticking amutwe. Era ndowooza kwali kwezuula. Bwe mmala okwezuula nti this is for me, nenkitwala maaso starting from high school, Nabomali High School.
Brother Latif, how do you stay updated with the latest trends in terms of fashion?
Actually, I really don't worry about that, because I'm innovative and creative. Basically, as for me, I just create trends. Ngabola banti natandika which are live clothing, construction performance, and everybody is now starting to try it now. Nentandika ntandise ebintu bingi nnyo that people are now copying. China bangi nnyo bakopye styles zange. Bw'oddayo n'olaba styles zo commentingako, you can see nti Abachina batandise okukola my work. Because I remember they used to come to fashion weeks. Twali tukola Uganda International Fashion Week. We used to see a lot of Chinas coming with cameras and taking pictures. Eventually twagenda okulaba nga design zitandise okujja ku markets. So
that's what Chinese are good at. Yeah. So what is your take, because you're one of the founders, the president of fashion, what's your take on the new and upcoming designers, specifically the authentic ones that create, not the ones that sell merchandise clothes?
Yes. Basically get the right skills. As much as you may be talented, naye ate weetaaga mu ne skills, weetaaga ne knowledge, kubanga tukimanyi bulungi to professionalize your talent olina okufuna obukugu.
Latif, it seems like you've had it all. It seems like you've done everything. You've come so and conquered it all. But what is it next for your next journey?
The next move is basically to set a ground back home, a good school, a demonstration school. Right now I'm building a demonstration school. Kubanga nina vision ey'okuzimba a university, a fashion university. But right now it's an academy. Naye it's more of a demonstration school. Gwe buli kyolaba just nontingezaako ku demonstrating my vision, obugazi bw'ekirooto kyange bwe kifaanana. So yeah, that's my next move.
Okay, Latif, before we call it a wrap, tell me one more thing.
Yes.
Do you feel like you're appreciated enough here at home as much as you're appreciated internationally?
Olwokubanga it's a trend nti bw'ogenda okusomako ne ba stars, sometimes they don't really make it at their home. Abantu bwe babeera nnyo naawe, sometimes they take advantage, they take you for granted. Nti abamu balina n'okubuusa amaaso bagamba oyo kyali waffe.
Latif, the superstar. Yes, any last advice before we call it a wrap? For the second time.
Oh yes. My last advice is basically nkubiriza buli munnayuganda yenna atulaba nga tusooke twezuule, first of all, especially the youth. Naye ffe tubateereddewo essomero mujje musome. My school has been accredited by DIT, that is Directorate of Industrial Training, which is under the Ministry of Education and Sports. Kitegeeza ki nti kati bw'ojja, you don't only qualify for skills, kubanga our academic certificate is called visa certificate, which is very important skills academic certificate, kubanga I've been traveling on basis of fashion. So as we teach you tukuwa obukugu obukusobozesa ogenda buli nsi yonna, you know, to practice ate osobola okubeera nga okifunamu. So nkubiriza buli munnayuganda yenna ali eyo, gwe olina omwana leka mutuuza wansi muzuulemu ekitone, bw'aba ayinamu ekitone ekya fashion, just know there's a school for fashion. N'ekyokubiri njagala okukubiriza gavumenti yaffe mpoze ate ekyuse amaaso egatunuzeeko ku fashion, kubanga fashion is a big contribution. Fashion is a media. We communicate, you know, kati ekyo si kirungi kikubuusa amaaso, naffe tusaba batutunuulizeemu kamera bajje bafune ensonga zino, because we do a lot of contribution to this nation.
Well, you can follow Latif Madoy on all socials. That's Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
And also on YouTube, Salif Latif Madoy.
Whoa, Salif Latif.
Salif Latif Madoy.
Wow.
Sa means senior intelligent rasta.
Yeah, that's your new one. Yes. Our fashion president, he says, and he's undisputable. Wow, what a magnificent man, what an inspirational man who is doing great things. Please continue inspiring the nation. Well, thank you very much for tuning into the program. It has been yours truly, Drago. Also, follow us on all socials. That's Chilling UBC TV, Facebook, Twitter, and you can as well follow me personally on Instagram. That's Drago Abra. Bye and take care. Have a good evening.